This tract does not deliver a verdict. It presents evidence and asks a question. In the tradition of the teacher who let his listeners find the answers themselves. Philippians 2, one word, and what has been built on it. Philippians 2:5 have the same mindset as Christ Jesus. That is the subject of the passage. Paul is writing a letter about humility, about having the mind of Christ. The ethical example of Jesus is what Paul is reaching for. The passage that follows is not a theological treatise on the nature of God. It is an illustration of what humility actually looks like. The context matters before any word study begins. One word in one letter written about humility has been made to carry the weight of an entire revision of the nature of God. Before accepting that weight, read what the text is actually doing and what it actually says. Philippians 2:7, he emptied himself. The Greek word is kenu, to empty, he emptied himself. And Paul does not leave the emptying undefined. In the very same sentence, he explains it by taking the form of a servant, being made in human likeness. Paul defines his own term. The emptying consisted of taking on human form, humbling himself, becoming obedient to death. That is Paul's explanation, not the later theologians, not the system built in the 1800s. Paul's own words in the same breath. The canonic conclusion that Jesus emptied himself of divine attributes that God poured a partial identity into a human vessel goes beyond what Paul provides, and it goes beyond it, using the word that appears 5 times in the entire New Testament. 4 of those times meaning to make void or of no effect. Now sit with this question, the Shema. Deuteronomy 6:4, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. That is the central declaration of Jewish monotheism, explicit, repeated, foundational, clear. God built an entire covenant identity around that declaration. When God established the covenant with Abraham, he named him specifically. When Isaiah named Cyrus 150 years before he was born, the name was in the text. When Daniel calculated the year of the Messiah, the calculation was precise. When the Shema was declared, it was declared without ambiguity. God's pattern of establishing what is foundational tends toward clarity, not obscurity. So here is the question worth sitting with. If the nature of God was being fundamentally revised in Philippians 2 to include a second co-equal divine person sharing the same essence as the Father, why would that revision rest on one word in one letter written about humility, where the word itself is defined by Paul as the taking on of human form? And how many other verses now require reinterpretation to support a reading built on that one word? Every time the text says Son, every time it says the Father is greater, every time Jesus prays to the one he calls the only true God, every time he says the Father sent me, all of it now filtered through one word in one letter. This tract does not tell you what to conclude. It presents the evidence and asks the question that the evidence raises. Paul wrote about humility. He defined his own term. The emptying was the taking on of humanity. The God of the Shema declared his nature clearly, repeatedly, without ambiguity for centuries. And the question worth meditating on is simply, does the weight being placed on this one word match the way God has communicated everything else that matters? Sit with that. Read Philippians 2 from verse 1 to verse 11 in context without a conclusion already in hand, and let it say what it actually says.